Hello audience, and welcome to a comfy, cozy catch-up video here on the channel where I'm just going to be going through and doing a easy breezy catch-up on all the background projects we have going on here on the channel, video update. This is out of coffee, sadly, and just keep it minimal, keep it relaxed and chill. First, I just wanted to say thank you everyone who's made my Rhythm of War video continue to pop off in the algorithm. You all rock. But also another just reminder that tomorrow, I believe for you at 9 a.m., I'll be dropping my interview with Seth Fishman, my literary agent here on the channel, where we're going to be able to take questions from you all in the comments after you get to know him in this interview, his legacy within being an author, being an agent, and perspective on stuff that we can then answer in a follow-up interview. So stay tuned for that. Should be a really good time and a great way for you to get like direct feedback on what you want. And then just getting the other quickie things out of the way. Better Dead, my next book that I am taking a whole different approach of writing to, is up to 122,000 words, maybe 123. Yeah, big progress there. I've actually been taking a lot of this week off from reading and editing videos and stuff, and I've just been focusing, buckling down, and like writing 8 hours a day the best I can, and it's had great payoff. So yay! And it's looking like it might actually be closer to 160,000 words. Biggest book I've ever written. Feeling awesome. For those of you who don't know, it's a horror island survival epic fantasy book that follows a young Magus as he is kind of being disillusioned with the system he was born into, and also finding faith, which as someone who is not exactly a faithful person has been really interesting to write. So keep an eye out for that. Really excited to finally pop off, hopefully before Dragonsteel, the first draft to my agent, as long as I continue these like 8 hours a day of writing. That's the plan. And then the other final quickie thing, I finally was able to take the money from the TLT Deluxe Edition and donate it to charity. Due to some controversy that happened with St. Jude's, we ended up not doing that, but don't worry, we just pivoted to another children's helping place, the Mary Cariola Foundation. Yay. And the donation amount ended up being about $7,500, which was enough for them to call me and be very grateful and thank me, which I'm already not great on the phone because I'm millennial, stereotype, and I'm already not good at people saying thank you or anything along those lines. So it was about 20 minutes of me just being like, oh, my audience, they raised the money, thank them. I'm uncomfortable. Wait. This new thing I got, because if you watch the Rhythm of War video, Pips broke my last soundboard. It's got effects. Hold up.
That should be like a high-pitched thing. I'm uncomfortable. Oh no, I hit the monster. I'm uncomfortable. That should be better.
I'm never going to use any of those effects ever again. And then I wanted to get into the official monies breakdown and hindsight thoughts in this video for Neon Ghosts, now that it's been released for well over a year now. And we've gotten the monies, I've gotten reviews, I've gotten all kinds of feedback, and give my perspective as an author. Because I think, you know, as much as there is a conversation about how like authors need to stay out of reviewer spaces, which of course I'm not going to be like coming at any reviewer, I also want to give a perspective of like what I've learned from being on a big platform, getting a disproportionate amount of feedback that most authors get, because I feel like that is a useful thing to be able to share for the horde. So just getting the monies part out of the way, I ended up making less money on Neon Ghosts than my indie published book, but I don't think anyone should be surprised by that, because obviously I'm sharing the profits of the book with a third party, hybrid publishing, Wraithmark Creative. But I still ended up making, I want to put the amount on the screen here. I ended up keeping, after print was taken out, after Wraithmark took their cut, I ended up keeping about $39,000, which, just full transparency, Bryce and I have both agreed we would approach this widely differently. Not only is there still hesitation around buying indie books, but there's a massive hesitation still around buying books from an author that is not as established through Kickstarter. So we kind of inadvertently put up barriers to ourselves, and on top of that, I ended up kind of having to take a break during this time from YouTube and not able to push my book as much as I wanted. We've since then done things like gotten my books into bookstores, and they sell out really quick, partially just because I think the cover is amazing on it, and also I think the market for cyberpunk right now is pretty hot. So the goal long run is to hopefully get this on shelves or get this available through other means. It's currently on Amazon, and it's still selling copies every week, and through the Wraithmark store if you want to get a physical one. You learn a lot doing these different experiments. And the main thing I want to be able to do is share those learnings with you. If you have a platform and you can't go trad and you don't want to necessarily go pure indie, doing a Kickstarter campaign with something like Wraithmark is a great way to go if you're able to really aggressively push it. But there also is, if you want to keep more money, maybe don't necessarily want, a publisher backing you to do edits and get you as beautiful a cover as this. Other ways to go as well, for sure. And so, it's a live and learn experience, and I still am in love with the final version of this book that actually was put out because it's gorgeous. Which largely went into buying this house and, getting rid of all debts in life and things along those lines because, once again, millennial. And the continued sales from there have actually been a bit up from the Lawful Times month to month, but not substantially. People want to check out my books, so they seem to be wanting to go for TLT first. And a lot of people, since the special edition have announced, have kind of gone away from that, which makes sense. They're waiting for that updated version to hit the ebook stores, which Bryce, when's that going to happen again? I've texted him about it like 8 times. It hasn't happened yet because I think it's both of us in like the back of our minds. We need to make that happen. And it'll auto-update for anyone who bought the other previous version on ebook, I think. And then when it comes to the reception for Neon Ghosts, definitely more positive than my first 2 books. Not that I think I was like overwhelmingly negative, but I'm hopefully improving as an author. And I think the biggest thing people said is like, prose improved a little bit, still need work there. Characterization, a lot better, but I'm struggling with structure and communication of like some higher ideas. And there's actually specifically one big regret I have that I pulled from this book that I wish I had kept in, that to me was like a transition scene from the second act to the third act, like climax takeoff, where, mild spoiler warning, but actually not really. As the author, I can tell you this is safe. Taya, the main character you see on the cover here, originally had a scene where she visited her father in the hospital before things really kicked off. And there's this continuing run of just you have to watch ads or see ads everywhere you go in this world. And to be able to even visit her father, she has to like experience these ads and just like sit there, and it's so frustrating. She's also wanted by this point. So she sees her father and realizes like he's not gonna be able to pay for his bills. He's getting kicked out, and she's upset. Ends up getting recognized, has to go on the run. But there's this like, she has gone through a transformation at this point, and her father like still accepts her. So it was like to emphasize like humanity and empathy, love over like no matter how bleak and desolate your world's become. I ended up pulling that scene because I feel like it over-explains some ideas that were going on in the background. I regret pulling it a lot. I think it would have really helped with the overall flow of especially the second into the third act. That's why you need more beta readers. I had conflicting beta readers on that scene, and my gut kind of got paranoid, and I thought, well, less is more. Well, actually, more can be more. Though, good news, I want to make that now the prologue, possibly, of the second book, so that, at least it can be folded in a way where you go, oh, okay, like that now can be added in retroactively, at least in the grand narrative, because I think it did do some important stuff emotionally for Taya in the bigger picture of the book as well. And then most direct response I will ever make to a review, I actually really loved a criticism that the book guy had when he talked about Neon Ghosts, where he specifically said it seemed like a lot of the ads were not directly commenting on the ideas and the direct narrative that was happening in the books. And I agree with him. My actual original intent was for a lot of these ads that you see floating around in the book to just be general world building, but also foreshadowing for things you'll see in book 2, which at the time seemed like a great idea. But in hindsight, until book 2 comes out, a lot of the actual imagery within the ads is just like, that's interesting neon ghosts, cyberpunk aesthetic stuff, but it's not informing this narrative. So it was another thing that in hindsight, I think the idea was cool on paper, but in execution until book 2 is out, it does feel like neat. Like, oh, darn. But I'm still so proud of this book. I put my blood, sweat, and tears into it. I think I did a way better job in terms of crafting actual character arcs here, learning as a writer, and actually helped me inform on like a lot of my rewrites for the Lawful Times. And gosh, what I've learned from this has made it so I've just approached Better Dead entirely differently, and it's taken me like twice as long to write that book. But you know how you kind of fall in love with every book you start creating, and then it reaches the point where you kind of hate it, but then things start flowing again and you fall in love with it again, but then you hit that block and then you hated it. I'm having that happen like 40 times over for Better Dead, which I've been told is a good sign. And then the final thing is just a big life update. One, Kayla and I are going to be at Dragonsteel this year, so if you are going to be in Salt Lake City for those days, swing by and say hi. I'll have a booth. I'll be selling books and merch. It's going to be an absolute blast. And then also we are settled here in Rochester. We're totally going to be here for a long time. I know I've been moving like mad. It's funny. We make good money here on the channel. I'm by no means like on that Jake Paul baller level where I'm fighting an old man, but I'm comfortable enough. But the reason we ended up moving from Boston is Kayla and I kind of went through a transition as a couple where we both got way more just into the settled suburban life faster than I thought we ever would. But I guess when you kind of hit that right beat, it just finds you. And we wanted to buy a house. We wanted to get a little bit of a yard. We wanted to prepare for the future. Obviously, we got engaged. We're getting married. And we realized we'd never be able to afford a house in Boston, at least not one that would feel like a long-term home. And we had some friends out here in Rochester. Obviously, Wraithmark's located out here. And we just decided it seemed like it made a lot of sense. So we, picked up. Now we're settled. I'm in a really old home after buying into a brand new condo in Boston. And the difference between the two is kind of interesting. The condo in Boston was falling apart almost immediately because it was built during COVID and they cut so many corners. And so the entire year we were in Boston, we were pretty much yelling at our landlords, being told things are not their fault when they absolutely were, trying to get car chargers installed that were never installed the entire year I was there, even though they were promised to be there. Just a gargantuan pain. So I then moved into a house that's over 100 years old, and it's been well enough kept. We needed to do some repairs here and there, but the difference is this house has survived 2 world wars, a couple recessions, and like the Great Depression. So I feel like it's strong and will last. And I've had to learn a lot. My dad actually came up and helped me learn how to fix things like loose windows and all that. And it's been really rewarding. So I went from being someone who like hyper believed in buying like new, up to code. That's bullshit. Buy old. Wait, hold up. No. Hold up. There's a sensor. There's a sensor effect here. Where is it? Here we go. That's bull. We got a censor live. I like old stuff now, and it's got more character, which I like too. Anyway, that's just the chill, comfy, cozy life update. I'll be answering questions in the comments down below for like an hour after this video goes live if you want us to know anything. And look forward to the interview with Seth dropping tomorrow. Sorry for not getting Arcane live stream done yet with Kayla. We've both just been head down writing, and I've heard it's kind of like a mixed bag ending. So I guess part of my brain is also just like, damn it, I don't want to be disappointed. But I'm watching Lost right now, which has also become very disappointing. I'm rambling. I'll get you a full Lost review soon. I'm in the last season, and man, people who claim they answered all the questions, no, they didn't. Anyway, sorry. All right, moving on. That's it. Like and subscribe. Love y'all. Have a good one. Peace. And real quick, we're keeping the merch up and live until the end of the year, just because some people have been like, hey, I want to do that for holiday gifts, but I need more time. And I want to respect that. So if you want to grab some more of our best of the last couple of years merch, it'll be there until the year is gone.